So part of the what Wrestling Travel does, just in case anybody watching doesn't understand what we do, we bring fans from all over the world to different wrestling matches, different wrestling events. WrestleMania, we just the last one, unfortunately, we didn't make WrestleMania. Nobody did, but we made Wrestle Kingdom in Japan. So we bring a fan. We got your flights, we got your hotels, we've got your wrestling experience. So in that travel vein, what are some of the best cities that you've got to visit because of wrestling? What are some of your favorite cities? Obviously, they're all probably special in their own way, but what cities stick out?
Do you want to feel that one, Keg? I'm trying to remember. Go on, Keg.
Well, I was going to say, because I mean, we traveled around America and we've traveled around, obviously, like England wrestling. But in a strange way, once we were in that OVW bubble, we pretty much stayed in OVW. The TNA, we went to Arizona once, and that was really cool. Like, it was an amazing thing to be a part of, and Arizona's beautiful. But I was going to just say the fact that Louisville, Kentucky became like a second home. Like, it wasn't touristy. It was like every time we said to people asked our mum and dad where are the girls, and it'd be like Louisville, Kentucky. They'd be like, Kentucky, why? But to us, it became like a second home, and a lot of the people we met there are like family, and we still love to pieces. Like, even though obviously we're back in England now, we still love to keep in touch because, you know, they were family. You were over there, and none of us had our mums and dads there. It was, you were having your apartments for the first time, and we always said it was kind of like university for us. Like, we were away from home, our own apartment, doing what you wanted to, you know, and we had such a blast. I think just for that in itself, like, Louisville will always have like a special place in our heart.
Ditto?
Yes, I definitely say that. Like Kelly said, we went to Arizona for TNA, but everything we did with TNA was very quick. Like, you didn't really, apart from when we got to see so much of London in a way when we were filming, which was really kind of cool. It kind of gave us a new appreciation for London. But then obviously Florida, and then, but yeah, I think Kentucky will always have that special place in our hearts, and we love it there so much. So yeah.
I gotta say, after asking that question to as many people as I have, I love hearing Louisville, Kentucky over, like, I got to go to Paris, I got to go to Rome. That's cool. I mean, that's a real answer. I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce this right, but my colleague, Big Daddy Cal, we call him at Wrestling Travel, has asked me and said I definitely need to ask, because I'm American, I need to learn some Mancunian phrases. Does that just mean Manchester?
Mancunian, yeah.
Okay.
But,
I'm assuming that just means Manchester phrases.
Yeah, but I don't even know if I would like know any. I'm trying to think, because we say certain things now, American, like, that we just kind of picked up that we continue to say. But then, as far as like a Mancunian thing, the only things I say, but then I'd say that I say it that my husband never understands, but whether it's Mancunian or just British, I don't know, because we say, obviously, bless your cotton socks, we say that, and then when I say it wasn't half bad, and Chris will look at me sometimes, or he said it, now he says it, but ages ago or a few months ago when I kind of first said it, he'd be like, what isn't half? He goes, is it good or is it bad? Why are you saying it's half bad? And I'm like, and I can't even explain why I'm saying it or what the kind of thing is. I'm just like, no, it's just a phrase. We say it's not half bad. But and even now saying it, I'm like, it doesn't necessarily make sense to me. But when you say it in a sentence, you know what you mean. I'm trying to think.
Sorry, what's the question? Because my computer.
Oh, the question was
Mancunian
phrases. I was told by my colleague Cal that I had to ask about Mancunian phrases. Nothing to do with wrestling, but and then Kelly's kind of saying she's not sure.
I said that we say a lot like bless your cotton socks, or it isn't half bad, that Chris doesn't always get.
One thing that used to get everybody in Kentucky though, and our like American friends, I don't know if it's a UK thing where you go, you okay? Like, if you walk past somebody and you go, you okay? And our friends would like literally stop us and go, yeah, I'm fine. Do I not look okay? I'm like, no, I was just like, you going,
it's
hey,
like
you
just
okay?
a how are you, but a short
yeah.
like, yeah.
But I used to throw them every time we said it. They'd be like, yeah, I'm all right. And I'm like, oh, okay, so that might not be an American thing.
That's definitely one I've responded the same way to. Like, yeah,
Oh,
yes, there's something wrong with me, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Where I'm from in the Midwest, I know that we always say, and I get called out on it, is, do you want to go to dinner or no? Do you want to do this or no? And they're like,
Yeah.
it's just full stop. Do you want to go to the movies?
yeah.
I'm like, for some reason growing up. So it is,
Doesn't Chris do
uh,
that sometimes? Chris used to laugh, and it used to be the oh nah, like he'd go oh nah, and like it used to be the thing.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that's like an Italian thing, because Italians always ask the question, but they always say it like the answer in the question, so it's like they're answering it but kind of asking at the same time.
Yeah.
so I'm going to say this question was an all-time fail, but I blame my colleague Cal for this.
It's just us being
We're
terrible.
just terrible Mancunians. Sorry.
No, that's when was the last time that you guys were in the ring?
Okay.
Lucy.
2007, July 2017. Yeah,
Oh,
it wasn't
okay.
that long ago for me. I did a play with CPW, Conquer Pro Wrestling, yeah. And they were doing like a play. I forget the festival name now, but it was in Florida, and so I got to kind of be part of the play and then have the wrestling matches. It was a really, really awesome play, and yeah, so I got to wrestle. I think it was like.
Well, I wrestled you, so I wrestled then too.
Yeah, and it was a week-long thing, so I think I'd have like 5 matches. But then I did a little bit on the indie scenes in Florida, just as like a singles wrestler for a little bit, before we came back here. So yeah, it's not actually that long ago.
No, it's not that long.
Yeah.
Is that a ditto for you, Kelly?
Yeah, well, well, Lucy did a few more shows than me, and then obviously she did the theatre play. I wrestled her once for that show, in like as part of the play, but then I didn't do anything in Florida or anything like that. That was just Lucy.
The global pandemic that we're in, and I don't want to talk too much about that. What I want to talk about is what it's caused in the wrestling world. Have you ladies been paying attention to the WWE and the AEW shows? Particularly, I'm going to go WrestleMania. I want to ask you, first part of the question is, obviously, the sport, we need the fans. The fans are a big part of it. So your opinion, I think they're doing the best that they can. But what I really want to get to is the cinematography matches, like The Undertaker and AJ Styles, the Money in the Bank. It just what did you guys think of those if you saw them?
See, me personally, like
And now I got both blossoms froze up.
Froze.
Oh no,
Sorry.
Nope.
I'm here.
Okay, you froze up just as you were saying me personally. So,
Oh, sorry. Me personally, I watch a lot of the WWE Network and stuff with Chris. So we watched NXT UK, and then we did watch WrestleMania. I stayed up for WrestleMania, and I paid for it the next day because I'm not used to staying up that late anymore. But I like you said, I think WWE are doing the best they can at the moment. Like it's quite amazing that obviously they managed to keep doing what they're doing, just because everywhere else is shut down, but yet they just keep going. But I guess it's a credit to obviously them doing as best what they can to entertain, because can you imagine it at the moment without it? Like if you didn't have it to tune into, what would everybody be saying then? People would be lost after all these years of wrestling. It'd be like, okay, and I know movies are on hold, but you've got a backlog of movies, and I know WWE too. But I think and personally I think the WrestleMania was so much fun to watch. Like I love coming down in the morning. Like I watched the first day and stayed up for that, and then the second day I watched it the next day. But as far the Undertaker, AJ Styles, I loved. Like I think it was just different, but like you can't. I mean, come on, you can't fault it because it is. I know it's wrestling and it's like, oh, there's supposed to be a ring and it's supposed to, but it was just entertaining. Like that's what they did, and I thought Undertaker looked like a badass. I love AJ Styles. AJ Styles is just incredible. And so like such a nice person, but I feel like, and to me it was the Undertaker looking like he did when he was like the little American badass, like riding his bike, and it was just entertaining. Like whether you laughed, whether you because I guarantee you half the people who would be like, oh, this is silly, carried on watching it, and then tuned in the next day to see what John Cena and Bray Wyatt were gonna do. And even that, like my husband was a little bit like that one was different, like, but I I thought that one was just a bit of fun, and you know, it's entertaining, and it's enjoyable to watch. So personally, I thought it was really good. And same with Money in the Bank, I enjoyed watching that, and that made me laugh because if you're a fan of the TV show Chuck, it made me think of a few of those episodes where they had to get to the top, like the CIA building, they had to get to the top of it. So I was just like, oh look, WWE's be like Chuck. And it was, yeah, again, it was just fun. Like, it was fun to watch and root for. And I love Otis. I like his whole deal. And I thought that was really clever. So yeah, I personally enjoyed it. And I love Bailey at the moment. Bailey is making me laugh every time, because as soon as somebody said that online with Michael Cole, it's just like, now you can't help hear it the way she does it, and I just think she's fantastic. It's like the little things now that just make you go, it's happiness, you know.
Absolutely. Lucy.
Oh no, I'm bad wrestling fan at the moment because I didn't watch it. I don't watch it at home, so I only watch it like with Kelly and Chris. So I kind of catch some of NXT when Chris is on. But yeah, I don't really watch it like at my house, like on my own anymore. So I catch little things online, and Kelly will send me stuff, and I'll like watch little bits. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just kind of, yeah, I don't really watch as much as I used to.
The whole pandemic thing, I mean, I watch wrestling as much as I can, but I find we're stuck at home, and I could watch all these DVDs, all these movies, I could stream them, and I'm like, I haven't turned my TV on in like a week, you know, because you're just busy doing other things. But I will say, Lucy or Kelly, I wanted to hate the cinematography matches because traditional, and I'm like, oh, you know, just in my head when it started. But now I'm going, what else? They're out there trying to entertain us. What else were they going to do? This is great. And exactly your point. Where would we be without it? And I do think in conversations I've had, as much wrestling as I don't watch right now because it misses something with the fans, I do believe when we're on the other side of this and we're back to having crowds, we're going to go back and people are going to pick out little things like Bailey talking to Michael Cole and all this cool stuff that I'm like, I missed that when it happened at the time because we weren't into it because it was missing something with the fans. But there's a lot of things they're doing that are gold right now.
Yeah, and I think the fans will have more of an appreciation for it as well when all of a sudden you're in front of the crowd. I think fans will obviously have missed it so much, like anything obviously now that people are missing, but I think hopefully it will give them a resurgence of just being like, oh my goodness, the electricity of actually being here now because we watched it in empty arenas. I just think they're doing the best they can, and it's entertaining and keeping people tuned in each week, and everybody's still busting their butts and working, you know, so hard to do what they do, you know.
Absolutely. Speaking of busting their butts and what they do, I want to find out as we close up here what you ladies have been up to. Lucy, you wrote a book?
Yes.
Do I have that right? You did?
Yeah, I've written 3 books. Yeah, that's basically been that's kind of why I guess like I've had to step away from all things wrestling. So I'm just very much in writing, like surrounding myself with all stuff writing and reading and just everything books. So yes, I've written 3 that have been published, and then I'm working on 2 at the moment. So yeah, I'm loving doing that.
Pardon my poor Wikipedia research. So I've got the one book that I was aware of was How to Bake a New Beginning. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
And
yes,
that's a
How to Bake a New Beginning is the first one, and then there's follow up to that called The Ingredients for Happiness. So that's like that's the sequel, and that's like the 2 books together. And then at Christmas it was Wishes Under a Starlit Sky, and that came out at Christmas, and that's like a standalone one. So yeah.
Okay. So for those of us who are fans of wrestling, fans of the Blossom Twins, and like me, maybe not aware that there's 3 books, what can you give me like without giving too much away, a little bit of what the books are about so I can go, hey, you know what? I'm home in the pandemic. I want to read that.
Oh, well, they're very much like the escapism, like adventure escapism. And I love romance books. I love romance movies. So they're romance movies, but they've also got like the How to Bake a New Beginning and Ingredients for Happiness is based on 3 sisters. And they're from an Italian family. And that takes them to Italy after like heartbreak. They go to Italy. And it's basically them discovering their dreams, discovering what they want in life, and basically having the guts to kind of go after it and go do it. So there's love, there's romance, there's sister bonds, and there's lots and lots of Italian food. And then book 3, which was Wishes Under a Starlit Sky. That's about a woman who goes through like a messy divorce, and then she's basically rewriting her own story and going after, like, reevaluating her life. And she goes to Colorado, she gets to snowboard, she gets to kind of find that fire within her and her passion and things, and just meets loads of incredible women along the way. So that's what that story's about.
Very cool. So that's been keeping you busy. Kelly, now you got to match that.
Well, I'm trying. I'm working on it. So Lucy's written those 3 books at the moment, and they're awesome. And then fourth one that she has written is amazing, and I love her writing so much, and I'm so proud of her. And we also have a blog, so we kind of keep, and we write book reviews on our blog every week. So, and that's just theblossomtwins.com. And then in the meantime, I'm working on children's books. So I've written quite a few of them at the moment. They're always like a work in progress. No, they're a work in progress because I love rhyming picture books for kids, and the rhyming part is the toughest thing to nail at the moment. So within the last year and a half, I've really been trying to write like just as many as I can, put ideas down on paper. And then in the past few months, during all this time, I was kind of focusing on chapter books or middle grade fiction. So there's some kind of wrestling influence in there, and then like family as well. So I've written kind of 2 of them. But yeah, I'm just working on the publishing part, but obviously just kind of putting my head down and trying to get them as good as they can be to go out into the world. So yeah, so writing is huge for us, and read, because we love books. Books is like our passion at the moment.
That's awesome to hear. When I was doing my journalistic integrity and looking up stuff on Wikipedia as much as I could find, when I found that writing was involved, it was awesome. Is there any chance that us 3 could collaborate on a children's rhyming book, and we could discover new Mancunian phrases to put in there?
Yeah, as we go, we'll have to look up some. Yeah,
Kelly's very good at rhyming though.
Oh, very good. So in closing, when I started doing these lockdown sessions, it's an awesome opportunity for the fans to catch up with a lot of their favorite wrestling stars from the past, present, future. As a fan, theblossomtwins.com, you're doing a blog, but what are all the other socials where we can follow you girls? Do you guys have a merch store like we have Pro Wrestling Tees over here? How do we follow you ladies?
You want to go, Greg?
No, as far as Instagram and Twitter, we're at the Blossom Twins, so you can see all our ramblings and all like fun stuff on there. And but at the moment, no, we don't have merchandise or anything like that per se. At the moment, it's Lucy's books, so we'll kind of promote Lucy's books and spread the word and get them out there as much as we can. But it's our blog. We work just book reviews on our blog, theblossomtwins.com, and yeah, and then at the Blossom Twins, and then we have a Facebook page too for our blog, but it's at the Blossom Twins blog, I believe. So that's like, you have to add that.
And then you'll find us like randomly retweeting or talking, because we do have our separate accounts. And so you'll find us like retweeting stuff. So you'll always find like Lucy and Kelly, and then it always comes back to like the Blossom Twins and everything. So you'll find everything at the Blossom Twins.
Well, we'll certainly.
As far as wanting merchandise or anything like that, Lucy's books are available at amazon.co.uk and amazon.com.
So when Lucy's books are available, and Kelly, when your books become available, is there an option to get them signed if I'm a wrestling fan and I want?
Yeah, I think so. Look, go on, Lucy.
No. I was just gonna say it's hard to do that sometimes, because obviously if I think it's just like you can send them to me and then I'd send them back, because it's very hard to do the like. I don't know how that works. I need to look into.
I'm trying to think of if I've got books from authors before. I've either I think it is like either they send it to you and you sign it and then send it back to them.
I know I need to work on that.
I need to work on my questions. So, cool. So
I don't know, because we've never done it. So yeah.
Because it's usually when you meet people or you go to events and you're able to like take them with you or have them, and it's really difficult. Like, so it's really difficult. And it's just, I think if you send it, then I can sign it and send it back and things like that. So I can try and like be as accommodating as I can. Yeah.
And that made me think of another question. I know, I apologize keeping you guys on here. Do you guys, the last time you wrestled was 2017, but since then, have you done, prior to our pandemic, but have you guys done a lot of fan wrestling conventions at all, or?
Oh God, I thought you were going to say wrestling then, and I was like, oh God, we have stepped in the rings. It's all that stuff.
We did wrestling training. We don't really do like fan events or anything. I don't think like we're big enough names to do like the conventions kind of thing or anything like that. So we've not really, we've been to Comic Con. We met Zachary Levi at Comic Con, but like we haven't done any wrestling related things on our behalf. But yeah.
Well, we'll have to come up with something with wrestling travel and get you ladies to a wrestling convention, because I'm sure there's many people.
We love it. Like, we love chatting to people, and even just we love chatting to people about wrestling, though, because it's not so much like us being like the Blossom Twins or anything, but just talking to wrestling fans. Cause it's so lovely to still get to be a part of it like that, and still talk to people about it, and kind of just share that passion and stuff. It never goes away. So yeah.
Right, and that's what I can tell by talking to you two, that you guys would be perfect for a fan to meet, because you guys were fans yourself. And you know that feeling of just, you know, if you walked up to the Hardy Boys when you were 12 or 15 and they gave you the time of day, how cool that would be. And it could come full circle, and you ladies can return the favor. So is there a chance then, if you've been in the ring training, is there a chance on the other side of this pandemic that we get the Blossom Twins in the ring one more time?
Right, we never say never. But my gosh, it's tough. And we were talking about this the other day, that it's like, it's not just that, okay, we can go to training a few times and we'll be fine. Bearing in mind that we were dying like last time we went to training. But it's like a whole lifestyle change, because it really is like, and it's stepping out of everything that we're doing now, and kind of like, wrestlers are incredible, and they travel up and down the country. They train at the gym. They like the diets, it's everything. And it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of sacrifice. So it is just, you know, as much as sometimes we dream and we go, oh, like if NXT picked up the phone, like we'd be there in a heartbeat, and we'd love to wrestle like the tag teams, and that'd be so much fun. There's also that kind of, right, would you be willing to take this much time out of like the schedule that we have now, you know, away from, you know, I wake up and my brain's like, right, I've got to write today, and then we go to work, and then you come back, you know. So it is a huge, there's a lot to do to get to that kind of dream poster match, or like that dream thing. And I think we have so much respect for everybody that it'd be very hard to feel like, oh yeah, you just come in and walk through the door, like, oh yeah, we used to be here like this many years ago. And so, because all the girls now and the guys, they just kick so much ass, and they just look incredible. And yeah, it's like, yes, the dream is always still there, and like you think of the outfits and you think of everything, and it's always like never say never. I'm still dreaming of that day that I can just casually have a chat with Triple H and just be like, well, can we just talk about storylines? Because we love, that's the one thing we love so much, like storylines, and being like, yeah, but if we could do this, and like planning it all out. And so we love that. And I guess that goes into the writing, that we just love thinking of those stories. And like when we said about Owen and Brett, and like getting into that like kind of mind frame and everything, and the Rockers, and we will, if you put that on for us, we'd just be like, okay, yeah, well, we can do that. But yeah, like I said, it just changes everything in life, and it kind of, you know, going to the gym, not dying when you're in the ropes, like everything. So I don't know, never say never, but yeah.
Ditto, Kelly.
Yeah, same.
You know,
like,
okay.
well, Lucy was the one who was doing it obviously longer than me, and she wanted to, but yeah, it's hard work.
Yeah.
You left me behind.
Is there any last thing that you guys would like to say to your fans?
Just thank you. Like, oh my goodness. And even like, and thank you to you for Justin for having us on, because it still blows our minds when we get like messages and people say, hey, can we talk to you and stuff, and we're like, us, like, what? You know, it's like, it seems like so long ago, but it just, we appreciate it so much. And then we just appreciate everybody that's kind of followed the journey, and like, you know, supported us with everything after wrestling. And, you know, because you always have that really kind of nerve-wracking thing, you know, you have your journey and you get to where you reached and everything, and there's always that, oh gosh, you don't want to fail, or you wanted to be successful. And that's like such a broad spectrum, and we always say like success is truly what makes you happy and everything. But we're so grateful for everything we got to experience in wrestling and everything that it brought us. And to everybody who still talks to us and says the Blossom Twins and, you know, asks us to be on shows, it really means the world to us. And like we do, we mean that from the bottom of our hearts. So thank you, like big hugs and thank you.
No, thank you guys, ladies. Thank you for joining us. This is awesome. And so signing off for the lockdown sessions, this is Justin Clapper with Lucy and Kelly, the Blossom Twins.
Bye.